This little gizmo here is a passive infrared motion sensor, and if you don't want to say that much of a mouthful, it's a PIR for short. And if you'd like to know how it works, keep watching. This is a typical PIR, passive infrared motion sensor, and just going to take it apart and we can show you how it works. Now you can just about make out there a kind of a thinner version of the plastic there. Basically that takes in the heat from whatever's in the room in, and through the lens it condenses it down so that that little part in there, that little rectangle there, can see it. Now that little rectangle is the heat sensor. And it divides its field of view up into a grid. Each cell in that grid is either hot or not. Now you'll have probably seen David Attenborough documentaries where they've used the infrared night vision camera, and instead of seeing normal colours you see kind of a grainy black and white kind of thing, and you can make out what's going on. Now, it's kind of like that, only a lot more basic, but each cell is either hot or it's not hot. As a burglar would move in the house, or anything else vaguely kind of warm, then different cells will light up hot and other cells will go to not, as the heat source moves across the field of vision. So if there's a movement of a source of heat, then the sensor thinks, that's a burglar, I'm going to trigger. Now, the algorithms within it are quite sophisticated these days. What used to happen is that you'd have, for instance, the heat coming off of a radiator from central heating. The hot air would rise, and that would then trigger the old-fashioned motion sensors. Similarly, sunlight coming in through a window would heat up the air behind it. That would rise, and again, triggering a motion sensor. So that's why we always used to say don't put a PIR opposite a radiator or opposite a window. It can be quite difficult to do in a lot of homes actually, but the algorithms built into these things are a lot cleverer now, and generally speaking, if they just see heat going upwards, then they think, well, that's not what would happen if it was a person there. They would normally have to see more than a certain number of cells being hot that are moving, because otherwise they think, well, that's something small, it's not a human being. Maybe it's a cat, maybe it's a mouse or something, I don't know. But anyway, that's how it basically works. That little sensor there tracks the movement of heat around, and if it sees too much heat moving, then it triggers.